that is, whether it's good for your future. And just for whatever reason, they say no. It is not for you to give up on that dream because that conception came to you and you alone. Often people abandon their dreams based on conversations they have with other people. It's happened multiple times. I'm sure Denta has her own experiences, and she's doing so well. People would dog, drop, shift focus just by one negative feedback. Honorable Sosu mentioned how he had run for elections multiple times and had lost. In fact, there was an MP that I won't mention his name. He also said, because I ran for primaries. One time, I even got out of the room, and the people I thought had voted for me were laughing at me that he thinks he's going to be MP. Never. And he kept at it. He kept pushing. And now he won his primaries. He won the election in 2020. He's sitting in parliament. He's doing so well. So often, whatever views, whatever dreams you have, it just might be that one person, that naysayer, that will say, don't do it, and will disrupt your entire view and purpose. And that is not for you to give up. Once you've zoned in, once you've thought about it, to conceptualize it is enough. There are a lot of people who fail to even think of what they want to do or what their future even holds. My daughter at 10 years, I asked her, what do you want to be in life? And she says, a doctor. And she says, do you know you've asked me this 6 years straight? And I said, oh, really? He's like, yes. You asked me this when I was 4 years old, and I said a doctor. You asked me when I said I was 5 years, when I was 5 years old, and I said a doctor. And I even told you that what's better than curing people of illnesses? So why do you keep asking me? I said, I just want to be sure you are focused on that vision, So even for her, I know that once she's locked it in, it's for me as a parent to assist her on what she's truly passionate about. If she changes her view along the way, as a parent, it will be for me to encourage. Most of you might not have that figure in your life that sows the seed, that gives you the mind shifts for you to believe and for you to be an agent of change, for you to realize your true purpose of impacting lives or helping people. Sitting in the audience today is a young person who's going to do amazing in the field of medicine. It's going to happen. There are young lawyers sitting in the audience. There are young entertainers sitting in the audience. All of you are destined for such great things, but it's important for you to start focusing on what that is by making that mental shift. Most important is walking in the steps. What training tools, what seminars are you going to put yourself to? What YouTube videos are you going to be watching? There's so much in terms of distractions right now in the world. Look, and as much as you're watching a good educational tool, YouTube is going to show you an ad where it takes you off what you are even learning, and before you realize you've clicked on it and you're off your course completely. I think that this seminar, the next 3 days, is going to be really extremely powerful. As you're sitting here, tell your other friends, colleagues to tune in. As I said before, some of the things I've heard today and what I know now, I wish I'd heard when I was much younger. Now, in conclusion, since Pastor Brian is here, let me end with a not so popular background story of a donkey. A baby donkey is called what? Okay, it's actually a goat. A colt. That's true. And some people say an ass, but it's not convenient where I'm standing right now. So let's just say a baby donkey. So somewhere in 80 BC, a rich young merchant owned a donkey. This donkey served as a beast of burden, would carry loads. Its sole purpose was to carry the produce from the wealthy merchant's farms all the days of its life. Over time, the donkey gave birth to another donkey, a baby donkey. And as the donkey became of age, he asked his mother, so what is my future going to be like? And he said, well, you see this load I'm carrying. When you become of age, this is what you are also going to be doing. Now, you take my place, you carry the load, and you serve the merchants just as I have. The donkey died, and the baby donkey took over. The baby donkey, just true to what its mother had said, continued to carry this load from the farms and to help the rich merchants. Now, it literally became the heir of destiny, because that's what his mother had told it. Our destiny is to carry these loads. In its 7th generation, one particular donkey was waiting its turn to also start the journey of carrying loads. This donkey was tied to a tree, and out of nowhere, 2 men came out and said, well, it's time for you to go. Now, the merchant who was just around the corner said, where are you taking the donkey to? The men replied, the Lord needs it. And that was the donkey Jesus rode into Jerusalem. Now, just like that, regardless of your generational history, regardless of what your past has been, you should leave here with a mind shift. A shift in the perception of what your mind could be, a shift in how you can reimagine your life, and most importantly, a shift in cultivating mindfulness and a shift in performing and outperforming your self-image. Tap the power of your mind. Thank you so much. God bless everyone.
Thank you so much, Madam Akosia Kozimenu. You can't go yet. You can't go yet. We have some time. We need to interact with some of the people here. Some people might have some questions that they'll need some answers to. So we have about 10 minutes to ask questions. If you have any question, kindly raise your hand. We'll bring the microphone to you and she'll answer the question. Any question? So I took a point, and my point is, if you can or you cannot, you're right. It's so true, because anytime we say to ourselves, we cannot do something, we are right, we don't do it. But when we tell ourselves we can, we stay focused, we don't lose guard, we definitely achieve it. So that's what I've taken from this. So please, if you have any question, Akosia is here to answer your questions. KMJ is right there with the microphone as well.
I think I just want to say this. I want us to appreciate, she is the Deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority. Please, let's clap your hands for. And NYA has been of help. They've been supporting the event since 2018, 2019, and this year too, we reached out to them and they have provided their support. But I think whilst you're here as the Deputy CEO, a lot of people don't know what the NYA, people don't even know what NYA stands for. Some people might think it stands for Nanaya or Ajiman or something. But I want you to tell us, like, National Youth Authority, these are young people, a lot of people are watching online via all platforms. What do you do? Can people just walk to your office? What help, what services do you provide? Thank you.
There were 2 questions, though, 2 hands up. So, yes, the MC's can.
All right. Let me get here. Okay, give me a minute. Let the lady
So,
talk first.
quickly, what the National Youth Authority is we are mandated to, in simple terms, enhance the creative potential of the youth. We are supposed to imbue in the youth a sense of propriety, of patriotism, and also of civic responsibility. What we are is to focus on everything that involves the youth. And when we say youth, 15 to 35 years, no football ages, please, covers the ages of 15 to 35. Currently, we have working on a youth volunteer program, which I would love for all of you to find a module in there that you'd give back somewhat to our country. And you don't even have to wait to get to national service to do that. Now, we also provide training programs. So just like Pastor Brian is doing, when you have a program of this sort, which impacts the youth and leaves them better off than they are, walk into our offices. We'll listen to you, we'll guide you. If we can't even support you with finances, we'll point you out to the various stakeholders that could support you. What we also have going on currently is a targeted focus on making sure that we enhance the entrepreneurship skills of youth. There are young people who want to go into entrepreneurship and they are not sure how to go about it. We in our offices are tapping right into Youth Starts, which you have heard from government unrolling in the last couple of weeks to enable young people get into business and push the country forward and create opportunities for themselves and for other people to resolve somewhat the issues of unemployment. So these are some of the things that we engage in, mostly trainings and programs.
The first question from the audience.
Thank you very much. Please, my name is Lydia, and my question is, as youth, when at times we want to explore more on our field of study and other stuff, we do not get the opportunities from people who are already there to encourage or to talk to us. So as youth, at that point, what do we do?
Okay, so you're saying that there's a field of focus you have, but you do not have mentors. You can't find the mentors. Okay, so
Or we do not get the opportunity to even meet the people.
yes. What I acknowledge is that somewhat there seems to be a deficit of mentors or a willingness by certain people who've walked a certain path to help others. Whatever the personal reasons are, I do not think, however, that you need the physical presence of a mentor. I'll give you an example. When I first heard the book, The Secret, it was through watching Oprah. And everything Oprah said on mindfulness, on visualization, on owning your future, or becoming great, I followed. I might not ever meet her, but she's impacted my life. So in whatever field you're looking for, there could be somebody who is not even in Ghana, but has put their life's work online. Now people are doing YouTube videos, like I mentioned, and there's a wealth of information. Some have written books. Unfortunately, you might not have that example here locally, but you can go on Amazon and check. So there's literally nothing where you'd come up short. You might find the local example not lacking, but the international example will be there. And then you, when you achieve your dream, would make sure that you leave that blueprint as a Ghanaian for others to follow. I hope that answers your question.
Good morning. Please, this might be a little bit off topic, but I feel like you'd be in the best position to answer it. About a year ago, there came a situation where I had to give out the remote. It was in the hall, and then there was a man and a woman there. And the first thought that came into my mind is that give it to the man, because between a man and a woman, the man should take the remote. That's when I realized how bad the gender bias is, because the fact that this even came to my mind is because that was what was written into me. So ever since then, I've made it my job that whenever I have the opportunity to just speak for women and speak as an advocate for women, I would, because of the kind of bond I have with my mother. Mm-hmm. And also, one time I was having a conversation with somebody, and then they made the comment that no serious nation should ever employ a woman as a Secretary of Defense. And I decided to actually think through it. You would know better than anyone how hard it is to earn the respect of men when being put in charge. So if a woman has been able to rise through the ranks of the military, it means she has worked 7 times harder than anyone else. So if a woman is being put in charge of as Secretary of Defense, it means she deserves it over and above, over and above. So I'm just saying that as a married woman, how do you balance being the submissive, obedient wife while still maintaining the feminist empowerment and I don't need a man to validate my existence? That's what I'm trying to say. I hope everybody understands. To know the balance between being the submissive wife and also being the opinionated 21st century woman who is going to be an example to your children. Thank you.
I was actually going to say, let's clap for him, because
I think, can you tell us how many children do you have?
I have 2 children. So I have 2, an 11-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl. Now, what I find most intriguing is for him to have the self-awareness without anybody telling him that somewhat he had discriminated or he had become biased, and for him to actually make the resolution that I'm going to be more pro-woman. I will tell you this, it is difficult for women in leadership spaces in this country and even the world as a whole. More often than not, when women are given the opportunity, it's the opportunity not necessarily to see them succeed. It's almost to see that something might happen so that we would say that when we gave it to her, see what happened. Now, when women even find themselves at the table, they just might be the single sole female voice in the room. The men outnumber them. It's a boys' club as against a female. Now, you don't even have a colleague in the same space for you to share those problems with. One of the things that I believe that we need to be mindful of is that as much as we want to be feminists, as much as we want to preach that women can do it, we can't do it without the men. The men are our allies. So it's for as many men as him to say, you know what, let me hold your hand. Let's walk through the door. You become a security top official, like you said. If a female gets to that point, give her all the respect and all the acknowledgement. You know, you mentioned submission, and it's not to even take it into my personal life. I would say that where respect thrives, submission is easy. Where respect thrives, I acknowledge that whatever you're saying is not just based on your gender. I respect your opinion, irrespective of the fact that you're wearing a skirt. I respect your opinion, irrespective of the Brazilian hair you have on your head. I believe that the brain you have, the mind shift you're experiencing, adds value to whatever conversations we have. So when there's respect, submission is a given, you know? So if balancing submission and work, and relationships, often it's a two-way thing. And people define what the parameters are in their relationship. So you, for instance, you're talking about passing a remote. It's a simple act, but then it came to mind that why did I give it to the man? I'm telling the man to control what shows on the television, whereas the woman would want to watch something else. So I think that when we put respect above anything else, next is love. I tell people I appreciate respect more than love. Why? Because people say, I love you unconditionally and still hurt you. But when people respect you, it's different how they deal with you, because I will not lower the standard for you. I've placed you on a certain pedestal, and that's where I'm going to keep you. So let's just respect each other, irrespective of the gender, and let's break the bias just as you have by being the voices for the women who can't even speak up. There are young girls who go into certain spaces, and even culturally, I just came, I took a tour last week. I went to the north, and I was meeting a group of young people, and when they were coming into the room, the men led. So I saw 8, 9. I was like, where are the women? Like, and they're like, oh, the women are behind them. It's a cultural thing, right? They were happy to go through that process, but when the meeting began, the women were very assertive, and I like that. So we can balance it out. You can have your 15 seconds of fame walking into the room, but I'll call the shots when it comes to the conversation, right? So long as we ultimately respect each other.
Thank you so much, Madam Akosia Menu. Thank you. She is, yes, we are done, right? Oh, we have another question. I think that will be the last question before we let her leave.
Oh.
Okay, unfortunately, we don't have enough time. But Madam Akosia Menu will be here, so you can speak to her after the event. Thank you so much. We are super grateful. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you. And she is the Deputy CEO of NYA. Please show her more love. Show her more love. I'll invite my co-MC to take us over. And, okay, so we'll have the second one. All right. So we'll hold on to our performances, and we'll have our second speaker come up. But before that, Pastor Brian has something to say.
All right. I want us to appreciate the presence of the Vice Chancellor of this wonderful university. Professor, please, I think he needs a standing ovation. Rise with your feet. Let's appreciate the Vice Chancellor, Professor Abednego. Please clap your hands. Thank you, sir, for allowing us into this beautiful auditorium. Kindly take your seat, Amy. All right, all right. Thank you. Yes. All right, so I'm going to introduce a wonderful person, and I wanted to hear this first. Dental Martin is a British Ghanaian entrepreneur, TV presenter, producer, manager. She was awarded an MBE in the 2016 birthday honors, and in 2017 she received the Ghana Peace Awards Humanitarian Service in Accra. In mid-September of 2020, she was appointed by the Asante Kotoko as their international relations manager. As an actress, she appeared on British TV shows including EastEnders, before moving into presenting, hosting television programs on British Ghanaian TV, including the Dental Show. Dental is an advocate for the Ghanaian community in the UK, and in 2017, she was put on the list of 100 most outstanding women entrepreneurs. I think you have to clap your hands for that. In 2009, she founded the GUBA, Ghana UK-based Achievements Awards, which recognize the achievements of individuals and organizations positively contributing to the Ghanaian community in the UK or Ghana. In 2011, she was named in the Future 100 Awards as a Young Social Entrepreneur of the Year for her work with GUBA. And last week was her birthday, so we decided to get her a little cake and just sing a happy birthday. So can you please get me the cake right now? Whilst this wonderful band, I need the cake in 1 minute, please. Whilst this wonderful band will just give us a wonderful birthday. Okay, let's go. I would like to call the Vice Chancellor to join me. I know you don't like that, but I can do that to you. And of course, the Deputy CEO to please join us so that we just cut this cake for Dental. Please clap your hands, everybody. Clap your hands. Can I get someone to hold it? Clap your hands. Don't get tired. Okay, thank you. Sorry over there. Okay. So, just for the wonderful work you've been doing for the whole nation and putting Ghana on the map, we want to say God bless you. And okay, wish you a happy, belated happy birthday. Please clap your hands in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Clap your hands and make some noise. Thank you.
When I wake up, I praise his name because it's because of God that I stand where I stand today. So if you believe in God and you believe that whatever you want to achieve, you can, then I suggest that you sing this song with me. Are you going to sing it? Because he has done it and he will continue to do it for you. Can you feel the presence of God? Uyo nyame, nyame, nyame. Uyo nyame, nyame, nyame. Oh na obostronia sase. Oh na uboni mudi pena. Ansano dikabe. Oh rasasibo. Yes, thank you, Father. Thank you, choir. Thank you, the band. It's been a journey. You can all sit down. Thank you. God has been good, and I'll always praise his name. Now, this iYES has been something that me and Pastor Brian have been trying to get the right date so that I can come and speak. And I think that today was the day that God has made. And so I'm here. And I think also that we need to check the Amwating, whether there's some linkage, because I'm Mrs. Amwating. So, and I'm not married to him, but he could be, there could be a linkage there. Mind shift, the topic for today. I'm going to talk about my journey and infuse it with the topic and the theme. So, I was born in Draso, Asante Achim. And at the age of 1, my parents left to the UK. And at the age of 5, they decided to come and get me to go and join them in the UK. And only about a month ago, my auntie was like, Denta, every time you do a speech, you always talk about, how you were raised in Draso, but you always leave the choco out. You were raised in Choco. When your parents left, I took you, and we lived in a house in Choco. And I only spoke Ga at the time. So I left, I joined my parents, and my parents only spoke Chi. And so the mind shift started then. I had to readjust and learn Chi.
One thing that my parents always said is that if you had it, you be chi, ukwa bontia, ubetimaka, French, Spanish, the opposite can be ubetimaka, but if you had it, you have to learn your culture and your language. When I started school, it was difficult because me bana ye tramiti. And I remember it was winter. And all I knew to eat was bordeni kontomre. That was my favorite food. When I went to school, they were giving me burger. I've never had burger before. What's burger? And I remember that I would eat the bread and leave the meat inside because I didn't know what it was. The journey was difficult because at a young age, at the age of 9 years old, I started my period as a young girl. And so that knocked a lot of confidence in me growing up as a child because I was a very sporty person. And so sometimes when I do sports and I'm on my period, I'll be leaking. And so every single time I'll be crying. I was like, Mommy, why? Why have I started this thing so early? I didn't get it. Until I found this person who encouraged me, a young friend of mine, Jeanette, was like, don't worry. Wear 2 knickers. She gave me solutions all the time. Look, in this world, there's nothing more powerful as a changed mind. You can change your clothes, your hair, your nails, your address, your spouse, your residence. But if you don't change your mind, you'll be in the same situation over and over again. She was changing my mind. She was making me more confident because I was scared of going to school. Now, as I mentioned, I was very sporty. And when I was growing up, I thought I was going to be an athlete because I was running for England at a young age. And you know Ghanaian parents, is either you have to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse. And so my dad encouraged me to be a nurse. Actually, he asked me, what else apart from singing and dancing and this sports that you want to do? And I said, I love children. And he said, okay, so what about doing a pediatric nurse? And I said, okay. But whilst doing that, I was still doing what I love. I was still singing, I was still acting, and I was building and shaping who I was. When I was doing my nursing, I found out that I was dyslexic. So, dyslexic is sometimes, does anybody know what dyslexic is? Put your hands up if you know what dyslexic is. Okay, there's a few people. It's good to learn about it because as I was growing up, and sometimes I would read to my parents, because what bon, want me read the idea no? Say. And all of these things really can affect your children. So if you pick up that there's an issue with their reading or the way they write, please go and check it out. So sometimes, even with my own date of birth, 13th March 1983, sometimes I write 1938. So sometimes you mix your words, you mix up your sentences. And I had to do my maths test to pass my nursing degree. I did my maths test 10 times because I kept on mixing the numbers. And the last time the university was like, Denta, this is your last try. if you don't pass, I'm afraid you can't pass your nursing. And that night I prayed. I was like, God, I need to pass these exams. I need to make my parents proud. I need to do this. And I got 10 out of 10 in the maths. Whatever you put your mind to, no matter the illness or the challenge that you have, if you believe, you can achieve. That's the first lesson for today. Now, as I was doing, so fast forward, as a senior nurse, I went as a nurse. I qualified at the age of 21 as a pediatric nurse. Quickly, in 6 months, I was a senior nurse. I was managing the ward. And in 2009, after me and my husband had our first child a year before, we were sitting down watching TV. And we saw these amazing Ghanaians, amazing people. And my husband said, there's no platform to celebrate our own. There's no platforms for young people to connect and say that this could be my role model. And so we set up the Gooba Awards, which at the time was Ghana UK-based Achievement Awards, but now is Grow, Unite, Build Africa. So Gooba started in a living room. Sometimes God puts things in our minds, gives us new ideas, and we have to fulfill it. But you have to know, He gives you opportunities, but you have to know when it is an opportunity. So, started Gooba. I called up a few friends, which I knew were in different fields. So one was in marketing, admin, communication. Because sometimes when you're given a seed, you cannot grow the seed alone. You need people to be able to help you and nurture the idea. As I was doing Gooba, raising sponsorship, we got a lot of no's when I went to sponsorship meetings. People didn't believe in the brand, they didn't understand the brand. And my husband said, let's sell our car. If we really believe in this Gooba Awards, let's sell the car. And so we sold our car and did the Gooba Awards. Sometimes you have to learn that you might have to give something up to enable you to get to the vision. Do you understand? Sometimes you have to sacrifice something for you to be able to get to the next level. Gooba, the first event, was sold out 3 weeks to the event. We had Osibisa, we had the Ghana Black Stars, we had Channel 4, we had BBC. It was just incredible. And that was all out of belief. Whilst I was doing Gooba, as I said, I was doing my nursing. So I decided to do night shifts so that during the day, I can do the Gooba stuff. How badly do you want what it is that you are going for? I didn't sleep because the night shift, as soon as I finish at 8 in the morning, I rush home, I take my son to school, I come and I start writing proposals, I start making phone calls and getting that sponsorship. Look, success is hard work. Like Cozy said, like Rosalind said, it looks glam on social media, but the tears, the sacrifice, the lows of not having even money to do things that you want to do because you sacrificed into this seed. That mind shift. How badly do you want it? What do you want? Have you figured that one out first? Then I said to myself, Guba, I want a president to come. I want somebody big. I want an MP to come. I want somebody. And I remember I wrote to Tony Blair at the time. And I was like, want you to come to the awards. This is what it's about. It's celebrating British Ghanaians that are doing well. And I think your office should be able to come and attend. And he wrote a letter back. Sometimes you think that something is so far away, but it's so close. When you try, you have to give it a try. When I got the letter, I was like, whoa, Tony Blair wrote me back? Like, onim dentawe, onim gubawe. You have to try. I stand here today because I didn't give up. I kept on trying. One day, some of you sitting here are going to be up here speaking because you tried. And now your story is going to impact on somebody that's sitting down. So he wrote back and he said, this is an amazing awards. Unfortunately, I can't attend, but I'm going to send my wife, Sherry Blair. And she came and she was like, oh, this is great, She came, but I can only stay for 30 minutes, have other engagements. I said, no problem at all. Please take a seat. She stayed for the whole event. Because once she knew and what she saw, the excellence that we delivered, the people that were honored, the people that were celebrated, she had no choice but to stay. Fast forward. Guba 2019 was our 10th year anniversary. And I said to my team, guys, let's do Guba in the US. And let's rebrand. I know Ghana's our home, but let's go for Africa. Let's reward Africans. We're all black. We need unity. So that's when Grow, Unite, Build Africa came about. We've never done an awards in the US. I don't even know a lot of people in the US. And we decided to do it during the UN General Assembly. We wrote letters and we confirmed 6 African presidents to attend the Guba Awards. Now, the budget for the UN, I had no idea that everything is triple expensive during the UN General Assembly. And so I had to raise $300,000. I said, God, how am I going to get this money? I sent my team 4 days to the event. The day before the event is when I took the last money to the US. Because I believed that it was going to happen. I believed that I was going to get that sponsorship money. You have to think positive and you have to think big. But as you're thinking big, you take little steps to get there. The Guba Awards in the US was one of the best that we've had. I know sometimes a lot of you come to these events and you're like, oh God, when am I going to get there? I get a lot of emails. How can I be like you, Denta? No. How can you be you and do what you love? Look, our minds is split up into two: positive and negative. Positive and negative. Which one do you want to go for? In 2016, I got a letter. Dear Denta Amwating, the Majesty, the Queen, would like to honor you for the work that you've been doing. And I was blown away. I was like, me, that came from Jaso, just had a little idea. And the Queen wants to honor me. You don't know who is watching you. You don't know who you are inspiring. So whatever you do, do with excellence. Do it with your heart. And always do the right thing. That moment was a great moment in my life. Going to Buckingham Palace to receive my MBE. With my children, my 4 children by my side. And they were inspired. How do you inspire somebody else through your journey? We all have an effect on people. And I also believe that for us, we should be more patriotic. Talking to the youth now and everybody in the room. Let's love ourselves. Let's love Ghana. Even our names, the names that we give ourselves, so important. You won't go to the UK and hear a white person name their child Abna. Will you? So why use their names to name your children? For us to start loving each other and changing our mindset, we must love our names. I love Nigerians so much. Nigerian, their names are Oyolode, Ogbogbogboba, da da da. It means God's grace. The mindset that we are talking about starts from here. It starts from how we nurture our children and speak to our children and pour affirmations into our children. We need more Akosias, we need more Abanas, we need more whatever Ewe names we have, we need all of them. Let's start appreciating wearing made in Ghana. Let's start appreciating what we have. Because once we do, the Ghana we want to see will be amazing. And it starts with all of us. I have 4 children. I have Nokware. I have Adansie. I have Area. And I have Eniji. Even with that, when they're introduced, they will ask them, where's your name from? It's from Ghana. That alone, a chain tourism. What does it mean? The truth. Your powerful names, oh. We have to start using them. Now, lastly, before I go, there's something I want to read. What God will bring you in overcoming poverty is not money, but opportunities. Yankopɔn fa sika mbɛhyɛ wo nsam o. But all the opportunities, beba. But are you ready to see the opportunity? Are you ready to see the opportunity? Are you ready to be confident enough to go for it, for your dreams? Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Sometimes we have visions and we think it's out of our reach, but it's not. You can achieve it. You can break that barrier. How many of you wake up in the morning and have affirmations? What do you say to yourself when you wake up in the morning after your prayer? Affirmations are so important. What you visualize is so important. I have a mood board in the house. Back in the UK, we had put the house that we wanted to live in, the car that we wanted to drive, the schools that we wanted our children to go to. And we've been able to achieve it because we see it every single day. Start having a board of where you want to go, where you want to be, who you want to see. And trust me, the more you see it, the more you affirm it, it will happen. There's nobody that I can say, when I say I want to meet them, I don't meet them. And yet, juju. It's sheer confidence and belief in myself. To the young ladies, be more confident, be more assertive. You can do it. Thank you.
Oh, you can do better. Put your hands together. That's beautiful dental for you. We're going to take our questions, 2 questions. 2. Who's going to be first? First question, where? Hey. Are you scared of asking her a question? You're scared? You're not scared of asking a question. So what's the question you want to ask? Those at the top. Do you have a question? What is this? You're waiting or you don't have a question? There's someone, yeah?
Okay, I think we have 2 hands up there.
All right, where? Up there? My goodness. How do I get up? Throw it. You buy microphone. If I throw it, you buy it. How do I get up? I go out, right? Okay, let's do this. Please wait for me. Finally, I made it to the top. Make some noise for me, y'all. After asking the question, you buy me calipo.
Thank you. Please, I want to ask, sometimes you are a student you are learning, you have a dream, and you want to achieve it, but you have a lot of people around you who keep on saying you can't make it, and those kind of bad words who breaks your vim down. Such things, how do you overcome them? Thank you.
Thank you. Such things, you block them out of your mind. Those are distractions. Those are people that don't see your vision, that don't know who you're going to become in the future. They don't understand your purpose. They don't understand why you were born. And so with those people, you block them out. In fact, you don't even tell them your dream because they're only going to discourage you. You just pray about it and go for it. As long as you believe in yourself, believe in the product or whatever it is that you want to do, like I said, you can achieve it.
I think, hold on. I think, hold on a minute. I think CEO wants to just help with the answer.
I wanted to add to what Denta said. You know, sometimes when you're in secondary school, there are some things I said earlier that I wish I knew then at your age, right? Now, chances are, where's the young lady? Chances are there are others like you in your school, all right? So what you need to do is socialize with those who think just like you. Now, one thing I learned 2015, 2016, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You would think, you would talk, you would end like them. So if you have 5 friends who are foolish, guess what? It'll rub off you. You'll be the sit fool. If you have 5 friends who are creative, guess what? You're going to be the sit creative person in the group. If you have 5 friends who are business-minded, it's going to rub off on you. So you, with a vision and a dream, find that person. Find those people in your class or in your house, wherever, who love to sit and read and think about the future. Those are the people you hang out with, and that's how you build yourself, okay? So forget the other people who are mocking you. They're going to see you driving a Range Rover and be like, hey, Charlie, she was learning.
If they don't get it, forget about it.
Thank you very much. Please, I'm Mohini Asante. Please, this is my simple question. It is like in our African community, young people are always not challenged to do things that others are doing, because I'm thinking like there are certain things that are reserved for elderly or young adults. It's like as a young person, you don't have to do something that professors are doing, lecturers are doing, or members of parliament are doing. You may see something in your community that you think there is something wrong with that, but you can't approach maybe the chief or the king in that paramountcy. And my question is, how do we help young people to build social capital so that they can establish protocols that speak to people like His Royal Majesty the Tumfor, maybe His Royal Majesty the Gamanche, or the Greater Accra Regional Minister, and tell him that I have seen there is a gutter on the street of Medina and it is dirty. I want you to help me with my fellow young people to clean it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. As young people, there's always somebody that will help you. There's, if you want to go to Otumfor, definitely you have to speak to a certain type of person to get you there. But it can be done. Whatever it is that you want to change, don't just sometimes just be the single person. Get a group of you.